Buckets. That's the name of my boat. Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. He might have made one going to Tallahassee.
See if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shelly, you hoodie girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we fall for. Beat the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets out the buckets, baby. You're out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie, it's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby, buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Buckets. I'm Matt. He's Vish. She's Melissa. Melissa, how you feeling tonight?
I'm glad to be with you guys. How's it going?
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Going well, Vish.
Vish just came back from the baseball game.
I am. You know what? I am a broken man. The basketball programs are shambles. The baseball is the worst team I've ever seen. But this hoodie is fucking awesome, and I'm enjoying wearing the hoodie. So yeah, I got you always gotta look for something good.
Vish, let's see that logo, Vish. Let's go.
This is my favorite one.
That is the official Hoodie Girl,
logo.
The Hoodie Girl logo hoodie.
Yeah. It's also quite comfortable. Definitely pick one of them up. Yeah, Melissa obviously has it as well.
I'm rocking the hoops one. Larinaga Meyer 23. It's got the Elite Eight Final Four on the sleeve. So if you haven't yet, which I'm sure you haven't because I know what's selling, head over to aboutthefans.com. Please buy one of my hoodies.
I will say this one. This one is quite comfortable, and I think it's a little bit thinner than the black one. So if you're in South
more of
Florida,
an athletic material, kind of like a zip-up.
Yeah. So if you're in South Florida, you're like too hot for hoodie. This one's actually breathable.
You got this one also. You got your graffiti, About the Fans Hoodie Girl collab hoodie. It says hoodie on it, so lots of options. I will say these run a little small. The zip up actually runs big. I bought an extra small, and it's actually a bit big. So
I think this one's probably more normal size.
Yeah, I would say I bought this one in an extra small. That's kind of true to size. But I mean, this is a small on me, and it fits pretty comfortably. So
I will say the material on this is a little thinner. So if you're in a warm place like, I don't know, South Florida, this is actually breathable enough where you can get away with it. So
that's actually the one Vish is wearing is actually, as far as the feel is concerned, is my favorite.
No, this one's awesome. I am enjoying wearing this.
But
I thought I was going to be
hoops, when it was a better time, but when we still had a women's team. So I thought I was going to overheat doing this because I finished my last work call at 5:45 and basically fast walk / ran across campus in jeans in the middle of the South Florida heat to get to the stadium.
How hot is it there today?
While watching a soccer game on my phone. And I'm like, oh, now I got to wear this hoodie. But you know what? Breathable. I'm feeling good.
It is currently 73 degrees. It
But it's
was
also 10 o'clock at night, so
But
I
at
don't
the
know.
time-
Like,
it's dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was probably maybe in the low 80s, mid to low 80s at that point, with like 175% humidity. So
Jeez.
yeah.
it
The
was
high
it was
today
big.
was 81.
Yeah, so it was definitely around that at that point. And the sun was out, so it's just
Yeah.
the difference between being out in the sun and the shade is pretty substantial at this time. of
And
year.
then he got back to his sister's place and threw on a hoodie to help me rep.
Well, I mean, the hoodie's comfortable, so I had to
Yeah.
wear something. Might as well wear something good.
Shout out to everybody in the chat: Terrence, John, Moose. Did we get Javon Small yet? Hey, that would be cool. Are we gonna start off with the women first today? Should we get that going first?
Whatever you guys think.
We want to talk men's first. Men's it's more portal rumors. Women's there's a lot.
So, I mean, I guess we
And
should.
it's similar to the men's. There's a mass exodus, even more so of a mass exodus.
Well, I think it's similar, very similar to the women's in that like the best players stayed and everyone else. Like Jasmine's still here.
Now.
Nigel is still here. Everyone else kind of in the same.
So I think since we've last had a show,
Nice.
we've
How
had
about making a call on our behalf, man? What are we doing?
yeah. So
No, what are you
since
doing?
I think the last time we did a show, Lachey had entered Dwyer. Since then, we've lost both of our bigs. Cheyenne has entered the portal.
That's hilarious.
So Z and Tosh have entered the portal. Cheyenne's entered the portal. Jalea has committed to Louisville in a very trolling manner. Ali Sedman has committed to UCF. And so we are left with Jasmine Roberts, which is amazing. Lamaya Hilton, who has a lot of upside coming off of an ACL tear. Our freshman who didn't play last year, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. And our three
Aurora.
freshmen.
Solomon?
No, it's Aurora Almon.
Almond. Thank
That's
you. I
what
knew
it
it was
is.
an A.
Um,
So we have 3 players currently, 2 of them coming off injury, and 3 freshmen.
we
Who's
have
4?
Hannah Cavinder.
Oh, and yes, Hanna Cavinder has decided to come back to Miami after missing. So her sister Haley, who started for us on that Elite 8 run, has committed to TCU last year. Hannah's decided to come back to Miami. There's been a lot of mixed reactions on this. Vish, what are your thoughts? Because me and you talked about this a lot.
Yeah. So I am questioning if anyone actually watched the Elite 8 team play. This is a big, I don't know what to call it, get her back, whatever the hell you want to call this.
It's a good piece.
She can play.
Yes.
She has ACC caliber. She's a solid rotation player. Obviously, she'd be starting right now. We only have 5 players, but you know, she's someone that you're okay if she's starting, depending on who else is in the starting 5. But certainly, if she's a rotation player, it's a huge win. I think if you just look at her stat line from 2 years ago, you're not understanding impact on the game. She's really good defensively. She's a decent 3-point threat. And one of the things that happened is that position got very crowded. First of all, Haley's a better basketball player. Like, you can be straight about that. So she was the starter. And then we had actually, you know, Carla Ariavets was the starter in 2022, the team that you know went to the ACC tournament finals and lost to South Carolina. She was still there. And when Haley came in and was the starter, you know, Hanna and Carla were splitting minutes.
And then
So Carla's numbers dropped from like half what they were in 22 in 23 because she was splitting minutes with all these other players. Well, Hannah's playing the same position. So if you just open up the stat book and be like 3.8 points per game, who gives a crap? You really didn't watch the team play. This is a huge get. It's a big win for us in a program that does not have players. Getting an ACC caliber player that's familiar with the program that we know can play is a huge win. And yesterday when I put it into our Buckets chat, I was joking.
Yeah.
But
Vish literally wrote, I wonder what the non-TCU Cavinder twin is doing
I
right
tweeted
now.
that out as if I
And
was
then
being serious.
24 hours later, we see this on Twitter.
So maybe I should tweet out, I wonder what NordChat is doing. It's what they can see.
Well, here's the thing. We don't have a lot of players right now. Everybody except like the only players we have left from last year who actually played last year is Lamaya Hilton coming off an ACL tear, who, when healthy, is a legitimate starter. And then you have Jasmine Roberts, who will be a senior, who's the leader of the team. So hopefully she stays. Everybody, Jada Patrick ran out of eligibility. Everybody else has left or are in the portal. So we need people.
Well, we need people, and again, this is a starting caliber player. I think people saying she's a bench player, she's not good. I would encourage you to look at the numbers she put up at Fresno State when she had an expanded role.
Mm-hmm.
The last
Their
2
minutes were
years,
limited because of
the last 2 years we've had a crowded roster. Tasha got injured 2 years ago, but we had Lola Pendande, Anzi, and Kyla. Like none of our players have really hit their ceiling because of there's redundancies everywhere. So if you're just opening the stat book, you're not and have not watched the team play, you kind of misunderstanding the value here.
Can I say something too?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Obviously, I don't follow as close as you guys, the women's team. I'm trying to get better with it. But I think it says a lot too that her former coach said that it was a massive get, right?
Yeah, Coach Meyer tweeted about it.
Yeah. And you always need role players, rotation players. We don't know what her role is going to be, at least I don't, but you always need people that are going to play on the defensive side, going to be able to knock shots down. And it sounds like that's something that she does.
Yeah, and because her and her sister are internet celebrities, I think again people
there was already hate.
Well, I think people think they're not serious.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about some people that aren't serious. It's not these two. I've never seen them not take their basketball seriously. And I think there's a misconception about that. When you watch them play, when you watch them practice, and actually, who was it? I think it was Destiny that talked about this. Because look, she was the team before the Elite Eight team. They played South Carolina tougher than anyone else that year. They won the championship at South Carolina after almost winning the ACC tournament, which had 2 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament in it. And you get these celebrities coming in, that can rankle the existing players. We're like, we've been working hard here. The program is moving in the right direction. Now you're bringing it. And she said after the first practice, never thought that again, because they take basketball very seriously. And I think people, again, are misconception about that.
Listen, she's someone we know can play basketball. She's familiar with the university. She's a really good piece. Obviously, we need a lot more people because we
have 3 healthy players because
and the freshmen coming in. So yeah, I mean, hopefully some of the players that have entered the portal decide to come back. We don't know what's going to happen there. I'm not counting on it. It's unfortunate. I was hoping to keep a few of them. I wasn't expecting this amount of exodus from the program. But I would like to address one departure.
Should I play the videotape?
And I'm going to preface this with saying is that anyone who plays for Miami, I'm a fan of them, and I've said it before. Like when Ali Stedman declared that she was entering the transfer portal, I was like, oh, I'm a fan of hers. Like I'm going to follow her wherever she goes. Blah blah blah. She actually committed to UCF today, so congrats to her. But I'm not a fan of if you're going to leave, don't burn bridges. And I feel like the amount of trolling that has gone on in the last few days with this particular situation.
You want me to play the video?
I'm just like, come on, man. I'm just not having it. Play the video.
But then next year, I'll be taking my talents to. Wait, hold on.
Oh, we thought you were staying at the U.
I will be taking my talents to the University of Louisville.
There we go. So you officially a Louisville Cardinal now. University of Louisville.
University of Louisville, rocking number 12, PG, going to Kentucky, cold weather. I'm out of here.
Hey, you still?
Goodbye.
Oh, so you still gonna be number 12? They give you number 12. That's what's up.
Was the hat game necessary?
None of it was necessary. And look, so I'm going to caveat this by saying, they're young.
Mm-hmm.
These are not. I mean, they're technically adults, but I mean, they're not mature necessarily. And this whole thing has been. I mean, this was the culmination of weeks of trolling.
She
It
kept
wasn't just
asking
this one
online if she
moment,
should
right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
multiple
She kept,
things.
she kept going on Instagram. Should I stay or should I go? She did that multiple times. She held up a whiteboard with a bunch of schools she was considering, including Miami. It's pretty clear she was not really considering coming back here. She went and visited Florida State and made sure, because she had a school. She had about 6 or 7 schools on our list. She made sure she tweeted out the Florida State pictures. There was an intentionality to this. Yeah, I mean, she can get the fuck out. Like, we don't need that in our program. And actually, Melissa, we talked about this in the middle of last year, like how much we're going to miss Jada Patrick. It's because the other guards are unserious like this. Like, there's a reason she got benched. She was the starting guard. She was I interviewed her at the ACC kickoff because she was one of the key players. By the end of the year, she was on the bench. It's because of things like this.
Vish had mentioned it a few times over like the last week or two. I wasn't bothered by it until the hat game. Just commit to what you're doing, to where you're going. Why throw on the Miami hat and then take it off and then put the Louisville and pull up the Louisville sign? That it's just unnecessary. I wish well to anybody who comes through this program and decides to leave. At the end of the day, you're going to do what's best for you. And the coach left. I understand, but that's just trolling, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah, and again, like we totally get it. Like, we're obviously huge fans of Coach Meyer here, and if I was a player,
Got my hoodie.
If I was a player at this team and Coach Meyer left, I would seriously consider, do I want to be here anymore? And I get that. Yeah. And some of them have options, and some of them a lot of them apparently are leaving, and that they should do that if they think that's in their best interest.
But have respect.
That sort of behavior
but have respect for the program that you're leaving and the program that gave you your start.
Yeah, and that's exactly, that sort of behavior is just uncalled for. Like, all of a sudden we're trash now. Like, you put out by the side of the curb to have someone pick up, because that's how she treated us. And like you said, I basically, once she put on the Florida State jersey, I'm like, look, there's multiple layers to that, right? That's a rival school. It is disrespectful, which everything she did since she entered the portal has been disrespectful to Miami. But that's the beginning of the troll-a-thon, which culminated with her repeatedly saying, maybe I'll come back. I don't for a second think she had the option to come back. I think this was all just her playing games. And again, they're young, they're not mature, but it's not.
She could have easily done what Ali Stedman did. Ali entered the portal. You didn't see anything on the internet about it, and then she committed today and just posted a thing like, "Oh, I'm committed."
Yeah, but again, there's different levels of maturity. I'm going to give her a little bit of leeway in terms of that. Like, I feel like 5 years from now, she's going to be really embarrassed about the way she behaved. But she. When you look, we should have been in the tournament, but we were much closer to the bubble than we should have been. And some of what we're seeing now kind of shows a little bit about maybe why. Like, there's a definite lack of seriousness and maturity that, when you lost Destiny Harden, frankly, lost the Cavinder twins as well, lost Carla Arievich, lost Lola Pendande. I feel like we upgraded talent-wise, but lost maturity-wise. There's a reason Jada played so much.
Jada was I said it the whole season how underrated she was. I mean,
and again, we said we're going to really miss her just because she's like an adult, and we didn't use that term. Instead, we're like, she plays correctly, she doesn't turn the ball over, she plays defense. It was more of an admonition of the rest of the team not doing those things. And again, she was one of the 2 players we chose to take. It was Nigel and Norchad. It was her and Jasmine. And by the end of the year, she's not even in stock. Could you imagine if we benched Norchad by the end of the year? That's what we did to her.
Nah, I just
Like that's how bad it went.
and you know,
And I think
we don't like
that's,
to come on here and talk bad about anybody in the program.
and I don't think we're even doing that.
No, I don't think we are. I think we're just calling out the bullshit, for lack of a better way to say it.
It's
We're-
disappointing,
We
right?
cover we cover this program. We're big fans of the program. Been to a bunch of games this year. Obviously, Vish went to ACC Media Days and interviewed her.
I was the
we
only
give-
one there too.
We
by
give
the
the
way.
team so much coverage. Obviously, Coach Meyer's been on the show. So it's kind of like a punch in the gut. Like it may sound stupid, but like I took that shit personally.
No, it is. It's fun. I mean, it's our school, right? She's shitting on our school.
Yeah.
That has treated.
And again,
her well.
we're alum too. So
Yeah, and it's not like we treated her poorly or anything.
yeah.
So I
mean, you brought her up all the time because of the whole Popeyes thing.
Well, I'm not talking about us, like us personally. I'm talking about the school,
Yeah.
the royal we, right? I mean,
yeah, but
anyway, I do think there is an element of lack of serious in some of these players that's coming out now, which I'm sure Coach Meyer was dealing with throughout the. Again, do you remember? Or you obviously remember that Virginia game where like, what the F starting lineup is this? I guarantee it was some shit like this that caused.
oh
that.
yeah. I remember when Ali started and
it was a wacko lineup. It was
Yeah.
it was like I think it was shit like this, and
Yeah. it definitely could have been.
yeah,
And there was a game that Jalea didn't dress for. Remember?
Yeah, there was a few of them.
I
which is
wonder if that
probably-
had to do with.
Well, I don't think it's just her. I mean, Lachey's had maturity issues too.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of that.
I'm
they were-
assuming Moose means Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
if Cheyenne just actually transfers, she is in the portal. We have to see. She's a huge loss. That's a big loss. Right now I'm focused on making sure that Jasmine and Lamaya stay. Like I want people that want to be here. I don't think Jasmine's going anywhere. She's a true orange and green. Lamaya's posted on Instagram a picture with her and Coach Cullup, so I'm hoping that means she's staying.
I mean, she needs to rehab, so it
And
wouldn't
she has to
really-
rehab too. But I think Lamaya is a great player. So assuming she bounced back from this ACL, which I think she will, she's a two-way player. She's a great shooter, can drive, can play really good. One of the best defenders on our team last year until she got injured. So she's a starting caliber player, assuming she's healthy. So her and Jasmine are two really good players to build around, but you're gonna have to get a lot of players from the portal, and that's hard with chemistry.
Well, it's two things, like you said. It's hold the existing players that are still here.
Mhm.
It's probably see if there's a. I guess the one thing we should say, and this is obviously not the case with Jalea, but I'm not sure that all of them. I mean, Jalea was gone regardless. I think that's pretty clear, but I'm not sure if some of these other people that dumped into the portal, like after a week after Coach Cullup was announced, were not told, hey, this is how we're going to play. You might not be a good fit for this program type of
All
stuff.
of them?
I would say when Coach Meyer resigned, that, and I told you, our whole team is going to enter the portal, and they didn't. And then they did later after the coach was announced. To me, that
Who
was a
entered
little
before Coach Meyer resigned? Was it just Ali and Kyla?
in Jalea, right?
Was it them three before it was announced?
Before Coach Cullup was announced, yes.
No, before Coach Meyer resigned.
Oh,
Was
I-
it just Ali?
I think it was just Ali. Yeah.
Moose saying group decision. I mean,
They're all. I sent you the picture, which Moose actually sent me, but like they're all the transfers are clowning around together. So,
yeah.
it's not exactly far fetched, but
Matt, as an outside perspective, since you're trying to get more into the program or whatever, what do you think of all this transferring and shenanigans on the internet?
Like from the perspective of the people leaving, or the perspective of like team outlook?
Just like
Moving
in general,
forward.
like with the trolling and then a bunch of people leaving after the coach, leaves, or the new coach. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I have to preface that with like, obviously you said I don't follow as much as
Yeah.
other people. But hearing what you said, it's what you guys have been saying. It sounds like there was maybe a bad apple or two, maybe a couple. And I think that's reflective in things you guys were talking about the Virginia game, right? Where the lineup kind of changed. So, I mean, I don't want to say the entire team entering the portal is a good thing, but I mean, we could be looking back at this and be saying like, hey, this is something we might have actually needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Plus, you've been watching some Toledo tape, right? With Coach Colas.
yeah, but that's like more system and
Yeah.
everything. You still need players to run the system, and we don't have a ton of players, so we have to see what she's gonna do, and whatnot too. So, and honestly too, it's a tough. I mean, if she obviously said that she's gonna adjust what she wants to do, right, based on personnel and whatnot. I mean, I think she has a little bit more freedom now because essentially she is going to have to build this roster, right? But if she's going to do what she has done in the past, with the offense she's ran and whatnot, it's going to take time.
Yeah.
This isn't something you just implement and players understand it conceptually
Next
like
year.
right away.
Next year could
Yeah.
be a bridge.
Yeah. So.
And I think that's a big thing for us because have we done a show since the press conference? No.
I thought we did.
We did.
Did we? I don't even remember.
Yes.
Her saying retaining Coach Fitz.
Wait.
I don't think we've done a show
No,
since
I think it was just the
Thursday.
interview she had. It was just the interview she had.
We haven't done a show since the press. So she announced in her press conference she's bringing 2 of her assistant coaches with her from Toledo, and she's keeping Coach Fitz, which I think is a big deal for recruiting. Which is hopefully going to keep our 3 freshmen, and maybe grab some people that entered the portal that from Miami that maybe they can convince to stay. I don't know. I think keeping him is a big deal.
I honestly, I don't know that I want any of them back.
But you don't know the reasons for why they're going in the portal.
That's what I don't know.
So they might have entered the portal because it's going to close and they want to have options until they figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what I've seen is a program that it feels increasingly like Coach Meyer was holding together. And I mean, we saw a lot of on-court dumbassery and bad fundamental play and all this stuff that were like, kind of excused, right? And you're kind of getting the sense that these are, I mean, we're going to talk to Coach Meyer next week, but not obviously in an interview setting. I'm starting to think dealing with these knuckleheads hastened her retirement, to be honest. Like, there's a high level of dumbassery floating around here, and I don't know. Like some of the stuff, like, that we not even really joked about that frustrated us from a basketball perspective, like all the missed layups, the missed free throws, the fundamental mistakes, the stupid turnovers, all of that stuff. You kind of got to wonder how much were they working on their craft? Like, why can't you make a free throw? And
well, Hanna can make free throws. Yeah,
but also like all the missed layups, like there's a lot of stuff that we're like, this team should be better. And again, they should have been in the tournament. We got screwed. But it also felt like, they kind of never came close to reaching the ceiling of the what that roster was. You're kind of wondering if some of this might have been why. And so I kind of almost just
PhD.
Yeah, almost kind of. Well, I guess my here's why I say that. Right, it's not that and I'm not really attacking the individuals because again, we don't know. They're as much as it might have been, a group decision, or a lot of them are like, you know what, we should all just leave. They're all in their individual situations, right? And so I'm not trying. Other than Jalea, she can get the fuck out. But like everyone else, like we hope Allie does well at UCF. Like she
left before Coach Meyer even.
Yeah,
retired.
and I think it didn't work out here for her.
Yeah.
She wasn't really playing at the end, so we get that. Like, and again, at this point though, like, what is getting 1 or 2 of these players back? And this is a reset. We have a new coach. It's a new era. We're gonna have to rebuild, and I don't think having, someone that's half committed coming back at this point is going to really move the needle that much.
And I almost wonder if it's better just to get all of that out of the locker room. Like, how many games is this? Just pick up. Let's just say we get one player back. Let's say one of I don't want to even name names because it's not fair to them. One of the three bigs comes back. Okay, how many wins is that worth right now? Is that worth it to just? I'm kind of like just cut it out. It's gone.
I mean, you wanted to see Kyla hit people, so.
Well, we got Hanna back, and if you aren't familiar with Hanna, she will kill you. So I've got my champion in the ring.
Yeah, I think a part of my wanting some players to come back is just like my fandom. You know,
Yeah.
you enjoy the team. We know the potential that was there, and we kind of talked about it at the end of the season before all of this went down, saying like how many players could return and like how much better we could be in all of these things. So there was a lot of potential, but I mean that's a lot. She's basically has to recruit a whole new team.
Well, there's multiple things she needs to do, right? So that's why getting Hanna back was huge. So assuming no one else leaves, she's got 4 essentially players in the roster. She's got 3 freshmen. She's got to hold all those and limit the amount. And then you're probably talking about getting like 3 in the portal because that's 7 already. Like no one uses 12 scholarships anymore. You just doesn't because everyone's in and out of the portal and you're not going to. So she's got to go get some players. Certainly we need some size. Although Almon is 6'4", but we need some more size. And some more scoring, right?
And she needs to buy a house still.
That really upset Matt that she decided she didn't want to live out of her car trunk in Miami.
She's living in a hotel right now. She hasn't even moved.
I know, that's crazy.
Yet.
You think she's at the thesis? She's probably at the thesis, right? Right above the team store where the ticket office is? Gotta be.
But looking at the team now, obviously we have to fill in holes from the portal. I think the expectation for next year is to just not have expectations.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of my point. Like, I don't think there's any. I mean, we can joke about Moose texting Van Lith. It's going to take like 2 or 3 of that caliber of player to elevate this team substantively, and frankly, other than Cheyenne, ones in the portal aren't that caliber. And
my favorite player left us, but I guess I need to find a new one.
Well, and I'm not, other than Jalea, I'll keep saying that because honestly, she deserves it. I'm not going to name, because again, everyone's in their own situation, but I would say none of Jasmine and Cheyenne were clearly the 2 best players on this team, and everyone else was severely deficient in ways that limited their effectiveness and their minutes. And that's why there was so much churn at the other positions. And so if we bring back Tosh or Z or Kyla by themselves, they were, at least what we've seen so far, they have not been good enough to be like, I'm going to play this person 35 minutes a game because they're like that caliber. True. Like they're not Liz Kidley here. And so that's why I'm like, if you're getting all 3 of them back and somehow and there's no like attitude problems or anything, great. That's a rotation. But if you're getting one of them back, like by themselves, they were never. That's why no one sees those positions. There's a reason that there was so much churn at those positions. No one was ever playing consistently good enough to warrant getting a majority of the minutes.
People all the time.
Yeah, and then just having one of them. I mean, again, this is on Coach Call Up to read the room, read the players, and read all kind of figure that out. But I would take Cheyenne back.
Yeah,
I think she's a game changer.
I wish Jada had more eligibility.
Yeah, but Jada wouldn't have done any of this crap.
I know, but I'm just saying. I said it all season how she was so underrated and everything that she did. Like, man, it's actually funny. I think we have more players on the men's team right now than we do the women's.
Yeah, no, we don't have a women's team. We have 4
We have a starting lineup for the men's.
We have 4 players on the women's team, one of which has a torn ACL. Like, we don't have shit. One of which is coming off a 1-year hiatus.
And the freshman who didn't play last year.
That's never played. She redshirted.
Yeah.
So we have.
But I will say Leah Harmon can come in and start.
Oh no, we like the recruiting class was top 15. That's why it's
Mhm.
important she holds it together. Those 3 players are capable of coming. Leah Harmon is almost certainly going to start based on the roster. even
Leah
after
Harmon
hit
and
the
Anae
portal.
Adams are top 50 players.
Yeah, so I mean, there are players you can start as freshmen or play significantly as freshmen. That's why she's got to hold that together.
Yeah.
There are things she needs to do so that there puts less onus on the portal.
Yeah.
But like, no, we're not going to have a good year next year. Let's be honest.
But I mean, if you look at the portal as far as the women's ACC, there's a lot of players from all the teams, pretty much.
Well, I mean, because Kenny
It's a
Brooks
big
also, him leaving Virginia Tech, their team all went into the portal too.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, these other programs were kind of starting. Like we deserved to be in the tournament. We were the 9th best team in the ACC. So it's not like we were dominating and can take a hit. And like we were on the bubble. We should have been in, especially the resident teams that went in instead, but we were on the bubble.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we were clear, like we were hosting in the first round and got screwed in that sense. Like we were closer to legitimately missing the tournament, which is not what happened, than we were to like being an Elite 8 team again. And so I think, that team there was something wrong with it the whole year. It never clicked. I thought we were playing well at the beginning of the season. Like by the ACC play, I don't know if just like the toughness of the ACC ground us down, but like that. I mean, our final home game, we're playing Georgia Tech, who was not a good team at home, and we lost to them in overtime. But like, you got to win that game by double digits and walk out of there and secure your, again, we got screwed, but it gives them an excuse, right? It's a bad loss that you couldn't afford at home to end the season. This team was just never really fully rounded out. Maybe we can
over, so
yeah, and that's my point. It's a reset. So like, do I really need a solitary player back? Probably not.
I would like to hang on to Jasmine.
Well, Jasmine's still here, and my assumption is she still will be here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like I don't want anyone else to leave, but do I think Coach Cullup needs to go and like try to convince someone that's in the portal to come back? I almost feel like they got to come to her and be like, "My bad, can I please come back?" They got to humble themselves. I don't think she needs to tell any of them, "Hey, I really need you. Please come back," or something. No, screw that.
Yeah.
If they want to come back to her.
And also
say, I made a mistake. I'd like to be in Miami. I want to buy into your program. That's different.
It's really hard to find like transfer portal updates for the women. So
I sent you the link of like the updated blog post.
So I haven't. Oh, you froze. Was that me or was that you?
That was me. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So I don't have like someone asked about Reese Poffenbarger's sister who's in the transfer portal. She's apparently really, really good.
She is. I heard rumors she was like kind of probably going to South Carolina, but I don't know. Also,
I will note Z and Tosh both entered the transfer portal with no contact tags on. So I'm not sure what to read into that. But want to move into the men's, so Matt has something to talk about. Hi, Max.
So,
hey, Max, how do we tell Cuvée to step on third base when he's standing next to it with the force out?
This isn't Kane's on deck.
I about had it, man. Max and I were the only ones watching the baseball game while everyone was watching the Heat play. So,
well, everyone's breaking my heart today. So,
but yeah, let's talk.
I'm wearing a really nice hoodie.
So
Max ordered one.
Dumbest.
Remember 2023, the year we made the Final Four in the Elite 8? That was a good year.
I put this in our group chat. Last year at this time, the men had come off of a Final Four, the women off of an Elite 8, and the baseball team was in the top 10.
And we formed this show.
Wait, isn't our we identified the date of our
May 24th.
May 24th
was the first time the three of us did the show together.
Which is the first real buckets. There's no buckets without the three of us. Hold on, I gotta check that. What day of the week is that? That's a Friday. We have to do a Friday bucket.
I'm off. We've discussed this.
That's gotta happen. Yeah.
Matt, who do we want to talk about in the portal? Oh, first off, Michael Nwoke has committed to Mississippi State. So that happened today.
This reeked of favor air going to Penn State. Same.
Yeah,
same
Mississippi
difference.
State is cooking.
They're cooking. Portal news, Matt. What are we talking about?
Inside joke from the Buckets group chat.
We can talk about cooking with an easy bake oven.
So where does Nwoko go when he enters the portal after next season?
UCI.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, you want him to be an anteater?
Yeah, just so Long Beach State can whoop his ass.
Go Beach.
Go Beach. What were we talking about? Oh, portal.
Portal.
Yeah, so we
Where
got some big guys coming on campus. Like it's a big weekend for.
Well, one's confirmed. I don't know about the other one if it's actually confirmed. Did you see something about it?
We rumor monger. What are we doing?
Okay. So
15 Watson hit by pitch, man. 15. And we struck out 10 times.
Is it Javon? Is that how you pronounce it?
He asked. I think so. I think Javon.
Javon Small. Actually played college ball with oh my God, Brandon Johnson, who transferred from ECU, played with him at ECU. Then went to Oklahoma State for a year. No, he's a really good player. He's probably, I've seen rankings of him being the best guard in the portal. Or like top 3. It just depends where you look. Yeah.
All right. You got Nigel. You got Jaleel.
Jaleel
can fuck off. You got Jaleel. And then you get him. Is he gonna play?
I'm telling you now, like if he comes, he's
he's definitely starting. So like what? Because we did a lot of talking about how we're gonna Lynn Kidd's more of a traditional center. We're really kind of those 3 have to start. So now
Matthew Cleveland back at the 4.
So, like in my head, I'm like, is Matthew going back to the 4? How are we doing this again?
I don't know.
Because those 3 are, you said, there's absolutely no way. Johnson, you could bring off the bench reasonably. There's no way you can bring Small off the bench. That gets a starter.
100%.
And there's no way you can bring top 5 pick Jaleel off the bench. And there's no way Nigel's off the bench.
I think so Max just said it. I think that you could almost do that.
Hell no.
I think that's a more likely.
I think you're gonna see all 3 of them start.
Yeah, but
I think this is one of those situations where the talent's too high to not just go for it and try to figure it out.
But like to be honest, and me and Max have talked about this. I think, I don't think it's super unlikely, but like I thought about it more too, and like if you think about who comes back, it's like if Cleveland comes back, like. If we're just talking about like who I would want to start, Cleveland or Bethea, I would want Bethea to start.
Right. And Lonnie did start for like a week. he was starting by like end of November. Not officially. He did an interview. Yeah, he did an interview in French saying he was going to. There's no way he's not. But he'll, he has the option to come back, but he would be an idiot not to go through the draft process.
Everybody on the team has the option to come back. Well, some of the ones that enter the portal we don't want to come back, but everyone has eligibility.
Yeah, no, not basically most of them that are actually
everybody.
I don't want anyone. Yeah, but I don't want anyone from the portal back. Norchat didn't enter the portal.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And that you know what? That's a good example of taking yourself seriously and not insulting your school. He's either gonna go pro or he's gonna come back to Miami.
Yeah.
He's not playing games.
Yeah.
But Norchat, the last thing he said at a press conference was it's great to be a Miami.
Right. Like there's a way to do this with class and there's a way to do what
he likes
Williams did. I don't think he even knows what Chick-fil-A is. He's out on 8th Street in Pequeña, Managua eating at the restaurants over there. He's not.
But I think too, the other thing also, like you just got to acquire talent and you figure it out.
That's what I was saying. Like this is too much talent to pass up.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You said on the last show. Yeah.
And I think that was an issue last year is L just went after specific people and he only got one player when we needed more. So I think this year he's just like, all right, we like this guy, let's go.
I think we were all a little complacent, including Coach L. I mean, we're very guilty of this. It's on video over several months, so can't really hide from it. But of thinking, hey, let's keep as much continuity as we can, when actually running it back without Zay and Jordan Miller is actually not a good basketball team. And Coach L should have realized that. We should have realized that. Obviously, we got Matthew Cleveland, who's certainly an ACC starting player. But largely, and then again, I mean, losing Harlan Beverly, losing Anthony Walker, like those are guys that contributed. The idea that we'll just get just Matthew Cleveland and continuity, and Coach Out again is guilty of this, talking up Wooga as if he's going to replace Zay. He's not that caliber of player.
Wooga has not stated
officially done anything either.
Yeah.
But I guess we were delusional, and like Matt said, I think he's learned his like, no. Well, it's easy to say don't run it back when the team was ass, but like I do think that was kind of a lesson. Again, this portal era is new, right? And all these schools are weighing continuity versus consistency. Like, how much do you? Because look, some of these kids are in the portal because they get pushed out too. And actually, I think a lot of our kids out the Final Four team that left were pushed out, other than Harlan Beverly, because he explicitly said, I don't know if he meant to do this or let slip out, but he did explicitly say he had the option of coming back in his preseason press conference when he had like laryngitis and could barely talk. And he didn't say that about the other kids. And you know what? If Anthony Walker was on this year's team, he probably would have played a lot and contributed a lot better than Nwoko and Joe Bay and all these guys. We had AJ Casey that we ran out there at that position. So
basket IQ.
Yeah. No, it's not basket IQ. It's IQ. It's high IQ basket.
Oh, high IQ basket. Sorry.
And so I think, again, we're even at his age, you got to learn lessons because this is all new. This idea that everyone can just leave whenever they want now and play. Again, they're kind of softening the rules even further, where you can basically just play. You don't need a reason, and it doesn't matter if you're transferred 5 times. You can play. So they're all trying to adjust to that. And I think he fumbled it last year, and this year different approach entirely.
We've already got 2 guys out the
Well, it's talent acquisition though. It's like, that guy is good. I'm going to get him. And if it pisses off the guys on the team, who cares?
Yeah.
And I think he's gone that approach. And I think he's also probably played a little bit harder ball with some of the existing players. Like, it's not an accident that Nigel very early is like, I'm coming back. Screw this. I'm not playing any games.
And again, shout out to Nigel for not screwing
and
around.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a conversation with Norchad about if you enter the draft and put your name in the portal, you do not have an option to come back here. We're not waiting until. It's one thing to go through the draft process and decide to come back. It's another thing to go through the draft process and say, and after that, I might transfer still.
Yeah.
And so I think he might have, just talked to him about that. It's like, if you want to come back to Miami at all, you cannot put your name in the portal because you're not welcome back if you do that, because we got to move on. Because it is kind of weird that he didn't. He's either going pro or he's coming back.
Well, honestly, I mean, I know we talked about him. There's rumors about him wanting to transfer, but I genuinely think he likes Miami.
No, he does.
So I find it. I mean, we're all assuming Keyshawn's entering the portal, but I find it interesting that we haven't. I mean, the draft. Sorry, I just find it interesting we haven't heard anything of Cleveland and Wooga.
I think Cleveland's not going to say anything because I think he's staying and he's happy.
Yeah.
Like he's been. When we landed the transfers, he was, very active on social media, positively reacting. I think Matthew's a hurricane. He's staying here. You don't need to make an announcement that you're not entering the portal when you're locked in at your existing school. It's just going to keep playing there. So
I mean, Nigel made an announcement that he was running it back.
Yeah, because there were questions around him. I don't really think there's questions around Cleveland. I think he was a guy we all assumed would be back. And he's just given no indication, and if anything else, He's a really good player. We want him back. He looks like he's committed to Miami. It's a good thing. I don't honestly. Wooga's the one that's confusing me.
Max. Oh my god.
High ice cube basket. Dude, baseball over. Okay, so
Other portal guys besides Javon Small. Who else?
I mean, I think that's all that was reported about visiting, right?
Wasn't there a big man or no? I could be wrong.
I don't
Who's
think
awesome?
so.
There's been so much stuff with the women's that the men have kind of fallen at the wayside for me at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I don't.
There's
I mean,
another name that Max sent you.
Oh
Well,
no, Things Cats Eat. We definitely need to be
well,
looking.
yeah. There's another name. I didn't know if Max wanted me to bring it up though.
Well, apparently.
Is it okay if I bring it up, Max?
I mean, he said it in the chat. Buyer beware. Go for it.
Okay. So there's another rumor that there's a transfer from Stetson that is going to be visiting. I didn't even see if he said it was okay. Oh, he said go for it. There we go. Jalen Blackman, he was their leading scorer, put up 21 a game. I honestly haven't watched film on him yet. I watched more film on Javon Small, but I saw a few of his conference tournament games. I can't remember who Stetson played. I think it was in the finals. But really good score, different level score, can score from three. He's like a high volume shooter. He shoots like 38% from three.
What year is he in?
But he's because he was at GCU his freshman year, and then he had 2 years at Stetson.
Okay,
So
just
yeah, he's a
28.
legit scorer. Yeah, he's a legit scorer. So I mean, yeah, 10th best scorer in the country. Really good shooter too. Oh, you know what? There was another wing that we were looking at. The wing from Dayton. Is that who you were talking about, Melissa?
Was it? I thought there was a bigger guy.
Maybe, but the guy that I was gonna say from Dayton that I said was Mustafa 2.0 because he was from Dayton. He's been connected to a few other schools. I don't think Miami's gonna really be in the running for him. I think it's gonna really. I think these two guys, we're seriously going after.
Do we like the Stetson? I mean, I know you haven't watched a ton of tape, but
yeah, no, I mean, I would be happy with either one of these guys. To give you a clear answer on like which I'd want of the two, maybe Max can chime in too in the comments, because I know he's watched film on both of them. But
maybe it was a high school guy. Okay.
Are we talking about Sisic?
There was something about a big.
Yeah, it's is it Stefan Sisic? Is that how you say his name?
Something.
Yeah. But no, I think these are both guys that would help us immensely. Both really good scorers. In particular about Javon Small. I think that he's someone that would fill a void of like what we missed from Zay last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good slasher, creates contact at the rim, can shoot the three as well. I mean, he doesn't have like the prettiest release, but can score in a multitude of ways. Good in the pick and roll, and he's a really good passer as well. I think he had a top 10 assist rate in the Big 12. But yeah, no, he's a legit guy. There's a reason why he's regarded as one of the best guards in the transfer portal. And I think he would be a really good fit next to Nigel because he's someone that can play make, can score with the ball and then is also really good in catch and shoot scenarios. So, he can play in, kind of both ways, on ball and off ball. But yeah.
And we are going after everyone that is talented. That's all I'm going to say. It's not just only guards. We did talk, though, about how we are light at the guard position, even if, our assumption that Cleveland is back. We don't have backups. right? We have right now we'd start Jaleel and we'd start Nigel, and there ain't shit behind them. We need 1 to 2 more guards that can play.
Because right now the 6th man would likely be Swartz, a freshman.
What about Jobé?
Again, likely right now our 6th man would be Swartz, a freshman.
I worked very hard to keep a straight face. Honestly, if Jobé is playing significantly, we fuck something up. But yeah, no. So guard's a huge need.
We're gonna
Guards,
have to put it on a T-shirt.
high IQ high basket.
And then, like quote Jobé. Like I don't know. Should I put
It's
it on the
not
hoodie?
basket IQ. It's all backwards.
way,
I think it's high IQ.
Hoodie Girl
basket.
hoodie line available on aboutthefans.com. You can get this amazing Larinaga Meyer 23 hoodie with Final Four Elite 8 on the side. Aboutthefans.com. Anyway. There's more people in the chat now. I had to re-advertise.
I gotta tell you something after the show, but those freshmen, yes. There's different caliber freshmen. I think you're fine with Schwartz being a rotation player, and you're certainly fine with Jaleel starting. I think no, where we fucked up this year was the recruiting classes we have brought in. Like, yeah, I mean, I agree with King's Cat. This is a different caliber of player we're talking about. Like I mean,
you gotta remember, Jaleel is the highest ranked recruit ever to come through Miami.
Right, but I think if you go back, if you rewind to before the season started, and you heard Coach L talking about these players. Nwoko's not ready yet. Jobé is nowhere near ready. He's a multi-year project. By the end of the year, these guys were playing. That was a problem that manifested from injuries. And look, we have had Keyshawn is the only good player that we've got out of high school in the last 2 years. It's like we have missed on recruiting classes.
I don't know. I would be worried if Schwartz was the 6th man, like going into the season.
Well, I mean, and that's why we're talking about wanting more depth. But as of right now, that's what it looks like.
But also, we're talking about contributors. I'd be worried if he's unable to contribute.
I think he will be a contributor in limited minutes. Yes, we do need more people, though. We've talked about this. We need more depth at guard.
Yeah, and that's what he's trying to do. That's why he's bringing in veterans that can play.
I'm trying to correct the pronunciation and the spelling of Austin Swartz's name. It's Swartz, not Schwartz. It's Swartz.
Yeah, good luck with fighting that battle. Anyway, so I think that's why he's I think that's why he's aggressively looking for more depth, right? He knows that he needs more than what we have, but yeah, no, guard's a problem, I think.
And also, I think we could use another big.
Norchad dependent.
Hey, listen, if Norchad came back, that's best case scenario.
Because
but I'm not counting on it. Are you really? That's the best you got, Max?
So I think, yeah, if Norchad doesn't come back, we again don't have any real depth at the. How much money does it take for a third baseman to step on third base when there's force out there and he's standing a foot from it, man? You can't.
At least we have the Panthers. Kane's Cat Seed. At least we have the Panthers.
Oh God, his name is just a disaster string there.
No, it's not. The
cats are sitting in the division. Yeah, the cats are sitting in the middle trying to prop up that little handle.
The Heat and the Canes, we don't know, but we got the Panthers.
Dude, the whole crowd was yelling, "Step on the base!" and he just ate the ball, and the guy slid in front of him. Yeah. Anyway, NIL is not going to fix 15 walks and hit batters. I'm sorry. There's an issue in the dugout there, but that's for next Tuesday. We're talking hoops.
Matt's getting bored.
I mean, you gotta see this thing. They hit the grounder at third, and he bobbled and just stood there. And the dude's coming from like a mile away and slides in front of him. He's still standing there.
Sounds like you and Jazz will have a lot to talk about on Canes on Deck next week.
Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Says the person who was just talking about the Panthers. At least I kept it on UM Sports. Anyway.
I figured
I
I'd mention a winning team.
I mean, the Mavericks are right there. We're targeting some guards. I think we all feel we need another big, probably. Like, there's no depth there, and
Yeah.
I think we'd like to minimize. I think this will happen at times, but I do think we want to minimize the amount we have to play Matthew at the 4.
Yeah.
Because the way this team is constructed right now, if Norchad doesn't come back, it's going to be a lot, even if he doesn't start there. So, I mean, not to tell you to name some guys just randomly on the spot, but I do.
Is that what you're asking me to name guys?
No. What I'm asking you, that's why I said I'm not asking you to do that, because get the hell out of here, right? We're going to pull some name out of your ass. Assuming Norchad doesn't come back, how do you want to address? Like, is it we need another power forward that's more like low block guy? Like, I know Melissa wants a stretch 4, so I'm not going to ask her, but like, you think we know they're like another 6'10", 6'11", like I play on the block type of guy? Like, where do you think we need to fill the gap there?
Well, I think that the versatility with Brandon Johnson kind of gives you some freedom in what you want to look at, right? His ability to guard the post and whatnot. Can I just say this first, though? I definitely think that the guard is first priority, right? Like,
no, for sure. But we went through that, and we have actual targets. It appears, at least. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of rumors around bigs, and
there's been a few guys that we've reached out to, but I know, like, some of them, it's been a while since I've even seen, like, if they've committed elsewhere or whatnot.
So I think Coach L is kind of agreeing with you and prioritized. Okay, we need.
But
right now, assuming Norchad's gone, we have the front court. We know who the starting center and power forward is, but so what do we need to supplement that with?
Yeah, I think you just look for a high energy guy, right, that can run the floor. I don't think he needs to have like a huge, like, an immense bag of like post moves or whatnot, but a dude that's like a rim runner, can set good screens, can run the floor, in that quick pace, and play some defense as well. So I think it's just like a general type thing. I don't think it necessarily has to be one skill set. I mean, Brandon Johnson is your stretch, right? Like, dude shoots it from NBA range. So
we need Anthony Walker back. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Runs the floor, high energy guy.
But shoots the 3 better.
I mean, I would just like him to not attempt the 3.
Townsend has been connected to some big schools, man. I think he's going to go somewhere to start too. So, I mean, unless we're going to bring him in to start, and Brandon Johnson off the bench too.
Bless you.
Yes, he is.
Arkansas.
Well, I mean, Arkansas is in worse shape roster-wise than we are.
Calipari's building from scratch over there.
Yeah, but so I think again, and then I guess the last thing to shake out is the 3 position. We technically, right now, it's technically our deepest position on the team. It's got Cleveland, Wooka, and Keyshot, all small forwards, but I think we're likely to have
one of them,
just Cleveland back.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having Wooga back. I think for him it's about role definition. He's not the guy. He can't be asked to be the guy. I think him as like a spot up shooter in basically his role from 2 years ago. He did get better. He's never was and never is going to be Isaiah Wong, and we put too much on him. Asking him to pick that gap up, and he's not the playmaking guard.
But I think as a wing scorer, playing off of Jaleel and off of
Who's Max talking about?
the dude from Indiana
Kareem
State.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Indiana State, the legend from Indiana State.
If you tell me what a Miami player looks like and say what's the opposite, it's that dude.
Dude, he's a baller though.
That dude can't play at Miami. I don't care.
I was wondering who he was referring to.
I thought he was talking about Brenda's guy. That's out of eligibility, but a joke because he mentioned
Golke?
Yeah.
No, he's out of eligibility.
Yeah, no, he's like an 18th year senior. But
Brendo, no, this is Brendo's guy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Brendo, yeah.
That's such a great nickname.
Can I just say something? You brought up Brendo. Shout out to my guy, Brendo. Got the job at my old high school, head varsity coach. He was a varsity coach somewhere else. He stepped down because his kids were really young, so he just didn't have the time. It's a lot of work. But he took over at my old high school. So shout out to him. Friend of the show.
He is. He is definitely a friend of the show.
I mean, guest host.
Yeah.
Ezra Zor. I don't know who this person is. Matt, help.
That's another it's Brandon Johnson's old teammate at ECU. I believe, right, Max? I'll confirm.
So we're gonna recreate a team that couldn't
and look at Javon Small.
Just like let's I must have missed ECU like winning the championship at summer recently. That we think just grab their team and insert them in the
Matt,
ACC.
is there anybody in the portal that you like hope Miami reaches out to, or that you would want to come to Miami?
Mustafa
Like,
Hamza.
A name.
Well, he's already gone. He went to Ole Miss.
Who was that?
MBJ.
Oh, did he commit to Ole Miss?
Yeah, he committed to Ole Miss. Wait, was it Ole Miss? Yeah.
Wait,
So
yeah,
not
Ole
Pitt.
Miss.
Not Pitt. We don't have to see him in the ACC.
Yeah. I mean, I think Javon Small is like a huge name. So if we could get him.
Okay, so given that
Are you talking about Pringle, Max? Sorry,
No.
go ahead.
I saw Pringle entered the portal. But Pringle's a center?
Was Pringle a center? I don't remember. I just remember his
anyway,
last name.
so in terms of roster balance, though, we got how many more do we need to get in the portal? We're assuming only one of the small forward stays, and that
I didn't mean to do that.
And that Norchad doesn't come back. I think those are.
I say two.
Those are the two working assumptions.
Jeez, it's very sensitive. I say
Melissa said two.
So how many? What are we at though?
Okay, so we've got
This is confusing for me. Okay, go ahead.
Nigel Jaleel, Matthew Cleveland, Brandon Johnson, Lynn Kidd, Jobay, Swartz, and Johnson Arugu.
So you have it. Okay.
We're at 8.
Yeah. I think you try to add 3.
Yeah, I think 2.
I think you add a guard. I think it's what Max said. I mean, we talked about this like last few shows. You prioritize the guard, another big, and then you just try to add another guard for depth that maybe has some more size.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that's changed, and I don't know that necessarily changes my answer, but the one thing that's changed for me a bit is I did not expect to be targeting and potentially landing a clear no-brainer starting guard.
Oh, like Javon.
Which now leads me to believe we're going to have to play a lot of 3-guard lineups, which then kind of, do we actually want, now how many wings do we really need if we're playing 3 guards? And kind of shifts my perspective a little bit. Is Cleveland going to get more minutes at the 4? Does that mean we definitely don't need another 4? We just need more height off the bench.
When you can also look at it as, Julio, Bethea is coming in, highly touted, whatever, but at the end of the day, he's still a freshman, and maybe Larinaga still wants to have options.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's as simple as Small is so talented, you just figure it out. You don't worry about anything else. You have the opportunity to acquire that talent, you do, and then you figure it out.
No, Max.
Macross. Oh man,
Dude, that guy is so sensitive. He was like replying to people in the comments, like talking about him transferring. So soft.
Yeah, Wugga and Keyshawn are still in play, and Norchat are still in play. We think all three of them will be gone. When we talk about numbers, that's our working assumption. Now, obviously, that could change. In which case, that would lower the number of.
We think Cleveland's the most likely to come back. Like we think he's staying.
I don't think there's even a. I don't think Matthew's even making a decision.
Yeah.
I think
Keyshawn's going to end up in the draft. I think Norchad more so likely ends up in the draft. I mean, he's already declared. Do we think he's coming back? Probably not. And then Wugga, honestly, we all thought he was leaving, so we're not really sure. Is he as soft as PJ Hall's mom?
I don't even know what Macross is. Like, who are we talking about? Look, man. Unfortunately, oh man, they got the last laugh on us. That was the high water mark. Norchad waving bye to him, and it went downhill pretty quickly from there for us, and not for them.
It's like the last time we won a game.
The last game we won was a game I missed because of COVID. I got COVID the day before, and we beat Virginia Tech at home to, I believe, go, I want to say 500 or maybe a game above 500 or several games above 500 in ACC play. And we're like, hey, start of a run here. And we lost 11 games in a row or whatever it was the season. Oh, yeah. That's spiraled out of control pretty early.
Before we move into Mount Rushmore shenanigans, quick shout out to Shane Larkin getting inducted in, is it the UM Sports Hall of Fame?
Yeah, which I believe is happening tomorrow.
Which is happening tomorrow. So are we doing this on top of the Mount Rushmore and just talking about one of our favorite Shane Larkin moments, or should we just do our Mount Rushmore of favorite moments from 2012, 2013?
No, we do this separate.
Okay. Got it.
Go ahead. You brought.
Oh, you want me to go first? Oh, my favorite Shane Larkin moment. I mean, there's a few.
Can only say one.
I know.
Well, the other one can still go on your Mount Rushmore, so you can talk.
Just later.
They'll probably end up going. Both. They'll probably end up. The one I named is going to end up on my Mount Rushmore anyway. My favorite will probably have to be the alley-oop off the backboard during the UNC
against
game.
UNC.
Yeah. He threw the alley-oop.
By chance, which player finished the alley-oop?
Kenny Kaji.
I knew I did want to jinx it in the chat. I was like, there's 100% chance Melissa picks that play because Kenny Kaji's involved in it.
She tried to set it up like there wasn't.
LeBron and D Wade were in the audience. I was there. Because I was a season ticket holder. So yeah, that's one of my favorite Shane Larkin moments. How about you, Matt?
Ooh, there's so. I only could think of so I thought of the off the backboard pass to Kenny, but I guess because when I really liked watching him play because he was so agile and could switch directions so quickly, and he had a really nasty step back. I guess I would say there was one game because I was watching old clips. I can't remember who was against, but he went up with one hand, and then defender came up. He switches hands midair and finishes on the other side of the backboard. I think it was against Charlotte or something, but it was one of the most athletic finishes I've ever seen. And I remember when he was at the combine, he tested I'm get arrested. He tested. He had the highest vertical.
Gio's in the chat. What's up, Gio?
Oh, there you go. Breaking info.
Breaking news there.
Get Gio in here.
Right? I'm gonna get Gio on the
Let's
show.
talk about the visit.
Breaking news. I guess I should read that out because this is an audio show too. Gio Million from Life Wallet, very plugged in, came in the chat and said the small visit has gone well. So that is a positive outcome.
Shout out
Thanks.
Gio.
Appreciate the
Gio.
love, Gio. Gio's good people.
Hopefully, they didn't take him by the baseball game.
Gio's had me on the Life
Yeah,
Wallet show
yeah.
that they do, so always appreciative to spread the buckets word. Gio, buy a hoodie.
God, man, enough.
I sat next to Gio at the Lafayette game. When was it? Like two years ago now, right? Or whenever.
Mhm.
Final Four season. So
Vish,
shout out Gio.
what's your Shane Larkin moment?
Hitting the step back 3 against Illinois in the tournament. We were down 1 with under a minute left to win the game.
Nice.
There you go.
That's a
Of
good
course,
one.
it was a step back too.
Yeah, I mean that was. I think everyone remembers like how the Marquette game went off the rails. We almost lost to Illinois. That team peaked a little bit too early. Like we won the ACC tournament, but we didn't actually play that well. Like they ended up playing North Carolina, wasn't very good in the championship game. Like they were not a good team that year.
We would have beaten Marquette. Shane was sick.
Yeah, but I mean, we were playing much better basketball like a month before that. Like when we were crushing Duke and Carolina. Like even down the stretch, we got blown out by Wake Forest, who won like 4 games that year.
Yeah.
We had started to teeter. Yeah, Kane's on deck on Tuesday when we talking about this. It's the worst team I've ever seen. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. They're terrible. There's multiple reasons for that, but so I felt like we kind of peaked, and then when Reggie got hurt too, that was we couldn't afford that. But we weren't necessarily playing our best basketball, even though we won the ACC tournament. Like I felt like we were playing much better in January and middle of February than towards we kind of faded a little bit. But he pulled that game out of his ass. Like we were in a battle with Illinois. We also got the benefit of a call. There was no replay back then. Got the benefit of a call at the end, but we fucked up a rebound, and Melissa's guy knocked it out of bounds pretty clearly, and they gave us the ball. But I don't think.
Gio, we were actually just talking about this, about the construction of the men's team through the portal and the gets that we've got so far and some options. So definitely go back and listen to like 10 minutes before this and you'll get all of our thoughts for sure.
Small would be a huge ad though.
Yeah, no, Small is
a much needed ad. I think that's a priority, right? Is that's what we had talked about, that guard.
That would constitute like a emergency buckets if he commits.
Yeah, no, he's kind of outside of like when we were saying we need another guard, I was thinking depth, not bang on
starting caliber. Yeah,
that's it's a reframe of my mindset essentially. If you bring that,
I almost wonder too. I didn't bring this up earlier, but I almost wonder if he and Nigel know each other because they're both from Indiana as well. I had tried to see if their high schools played against each other, but
they might.
Gio, don't get our hopes up.
I mean, if
that would be, we'd go from no depth to insane depth like that quickly if that happened. If Wooga and George came back.
I mean, if Wooga and George and Matthew are back, we are.
That's the most depth at a position ever.
I mean, no, we're just like really loaded then. And I will say,
PJ Hall's mom is not fucking ready. I'll tell you that.
I'll say this too. I'll go back to what I was talking about. I think we all think Keyshawn's going to be in the draft because I think it looks like he'll go in the first round, even if it's late in the first round. But if he comes back, hit the weight room, he should be playing the stretch 4, not Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
He's more athletic. He's taller. If you put some weight on him, I think that's a position where he could thrive, and is a much better fit for than Matthew.
And he would be a matchup nightmare.
Gio, I know what you're saying, and I know who you're probably talking about. And I've had a conversation with the same person you're probably talking about. So, not
Matthew
a conversation.
Should definitely be a 3. Gio's right on point with the buckets fam tonight.
Yeah, and I think if they all come back, I actually think Keyshawn's a better 4 if he puts some weight on. He's taller. He's smoother at that position. He can play better in the low block. And he's a big matchup nightmare for a traditional 4, much more than Matthew is. I think Matthew at 3, and I think
Cleveland just looks so uncomfortable like the entire season. And so he gets a lot of hate, and I've criticized him too. But I mean, you put him at his natural position, and I think you see a different player, and I think he's going to be really valuable for us, especially like him being a senior, so his like experience in college. So we're assuming he's going to be our 3. So we'll have to get Gio on the show in the off season.
Yeah.
We'll do that. He's been on a 6 ring before.
We got to get him on buckets. That's right. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think so. We've talked about this on the show, but the thing is, the draft is so much deeper next year, and it's such crap this year. He's probably, all things being equal, you roll the dice because the draft is so much weaker. There's just a better chance of getting drafted this year than next year, unless like the stock really goes up. Which is where I think if he comes back, he really needs to put weight on. He needs to show more of a complete game. And then he'll be able to get, because frankly, everyone in 2024 NBA, everyone can shoot, and so that's not gonna, like in college you're like, wow, this guy is big and he can shoot. In NBA, that's not even a differentiator; it's a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got to show more. Right now he's on potential. We can take him from there to the next step. But that's his. But another year in college, that's less potential, more actual. He's got to show more.
If small commits, we're not keeping. We'll get in Keyshawn. And again, I don't think Keyshawn's staying.
If small commits, I think to Matt's point, we've never actually started a true freshman on day one. I think our first game lineup: Nigel, Small, Keyshawn, Matthew, Lynn Kidd.
If they all stay. Or
yeah, if all 3,
Johnson.
Yeah, I think if all 3 of the
Norchad is an amazing person. I'm gonna miss him too, assuming he's gone, which we assume he is. I'm trying to keep a speckle of hope that he decides to come back.
I mean, again, I think opposite.
Also, I hope Bill doesn't change his thumbnail if Norchad stays in the draft, because I always like looking at Bill's.
He might be changing it. If someone commits here, he's a big Sisich fan.
I'm no candlelight vigil for Nwoko. Anyway, all right, Mount Rushmore. We did the Larkin moments. So kind of an extension of. So again, if people So Gio, just real quick, Norchad signed with them. There's NCAA approved agents which you can sign with and still keep your eligibility. That's what he's using. And so he technically can come back. I think we're all expecting Norchad though not to be back. And I think Coach Ellis too. We were aggressive in getting multiple starting bigs essentially.
Yeah. And I'm just grateful with the aggressiveness.
Yeah. All right. So the Mount Rushmore is kind of.
We are an educational program, Gio.
Please don't hold us to that standard.
We are a fashionable program.
Jesus, the hoodies. This is now
Vish,
just like
that hoodie looks amazing on you. The hoodie, it looks amazing on you, Vish.
I know. But we are now just a hoodie advertising program.
We're turning into QVC
with basketball attached. No, but this hoodie is amazing. This is the good one. If you're gonna get one, get this one. The fit on it's better. It's more comfortable. It's breathable. In that South Florida heat, definitely get this one.
But there are 4 options, so check out aboutthefans.com and search Hoodie Gore Collection. All right, tonight's
it's like those little. God, I'm probably the only one old enough to, but it's like when they used to do these restaurant tie-ins with movies, like collect all 4. They do like Jurassic Park would have like a Taco Bell tie, and they have like special cups. But they have like the Velociraptor and the T-Rex and all, and they'd be
it's too bad. It's too bad we don't have like an in-show ad where I could just quickly change hoodies and then like show off another one.
I mean,
well, I have them all right here, but it's fine. All right,
we'll work on that for next week.
Tonight's Mount Rushmore in honor of Shane Larkin being inducted into the UM Sports Hall of Fame. We are going to do our top 4 favorite moments from the 2012-2013 season. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think everyone's going to say that. Well, there's a good chance everyone says this one, but I'm going to talk about a specific part of this game. It's a Duke game. I want to talk about Durant Scott putting the absolute clamps on Seth Curry. Seth Curry scored 0 points, 0 for 10. One of the best defensive performances I've seen in a game. So Durant Scott, man.
ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
And friend of the program.
Friend of the program.
He's been on the show. He's on the intro. Vish, you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
Whatever you want.
I'll go. So my first favorite moment isn't actually during a game. It is the post-game Larinaga dancing after we made the Sweet 16 when he started fighting like Muhammad Ali. And then Reggie Johnson mentioned something about Mama made pizza rolls.
And then got injured.
No.
When did he get injured?
No, this is when we made the Sweet 16 after we beat Illinois.
Yeah, and Reggie Johnson got injured in between that and the Marquette game.
Oh, did he? Oh, I don't remember. But
yeah,
that was
he was out. That whole thing was going off the rails way before they got to DC. Actually, I just looked up that I was surprised to say I agree with myself, but we actually lost 3 out of our last 5 games heading into the ACC tournament, including to a really bad Georgia Tech team at home, which now I remember we could have clinched the ACC that day and we blew the home game. We got blown out by Wake Forest too by 18 points.
We were ranked number 2. We were ranked number 2.
Yeah, we were not playing our best ball at the end of the season, and it caught up with us. Anyway, my first pick is Reggie Johnson hitting the buzzer beater against NC State.
Oh yeah, I fell over my coffee table.
That was just.
I jumped up because he tipped it in, and I jumped up off my couch because I was watching, and I tripped over my coffee table.
That game was a battle. It was back and forth. And yeah, he, like you said, he hit the buzzer beater, and it was just like, man, it was still in that dreamland with that team too, right? Like we're like, are we really this good? And we just kept winning. And that was when NC State was ranked. They're a top 20 team. It was on the road. It's a tough game. We're in a battle. Like, we're probably going to come up short. It's fine though. Losing on the road, and then we won anyway. I'm like, man, this team doesn't lose.
Matt, what's your next one?
My next one, I'm trying to decide which one I want to go with. I guess I'll go with, because Vish mentioned NC State. I feel like I'm coming across as a Durant Scott homer, but it was the game that it was NC State. It was the other time we played them. I think it was later in the year, and Durant Scott dropped 32 points. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but I remember watching that one at home with one of my friends, and he just went off. Really impressive offensive performance. I remember because he just scored in a multitude of ways. It was off ball, on ball. But yeah, I would definitely go with that one.
My second one is what Moose said. I was at the Duke. I was a season ticket holder, so I was at the Duke game. I mean, that whole thing in general was crazy, like us being up so much at halftime. But yeah, when we slapped the floor, that was awesome.
All right, I'm going to go with a little bit of a surprise one because it's actually a bad moment, but I think just to kind of recall how the season went. So right before ACC play started, we played this Christmas tournament. We got on neutral site. We got killed by Arizona and then lost to Indiana State.
That's when Durant missed the game and Reggie hurt his thumb, right?
And we were down bad. And then we promptly, this is the retribution. I'm all about these getting to your depths and then digging yourselves out of them. Mm-hmm. We then won 14 games in a row, rolling through the ACC. It became, probably the best team in the country at that point, out of nowhere. So to me, you got to hit those depths to enjoy the high. So it's that whole arc of, losing. I remember that was on Christmas Day itself when he lost to Indiana State. And I was like, this team is not good.
Yo, that's Jasmine Roberts in the chat.
I was gonna say, is that Jasmine Roberts in the
I
chat?
I was just checking. I'm like, is that her? That's the legend, Kane's women's legend herself. What's up, Jasmine? I was like, I'm checking to see if that's her. If that's her thumbnail, that's her.
Damn, we got celebrities in the chat today.
Shout out to Chick-fil-A. What's up, Jasmine? Jasmine, you are welcome on the show anytime. Let us know. Hit up our Twitters. You're welcome on the show.
I'm like
totally
stunned here.
distracted now.
I know. I know.
I'm so distracted now.
What the hell?
Jasmine would appreciate this hoodie.
Jasmine, I'm the weirdo that asked you if you like Chick-fil-A or Popeyes at the ACC tip-off thing.
Yeah, and Matt and Vish hate Chick-fil-A. I'm a Chick-fil-A person.
Let's not restate. Not hate.
You like Popeyes better.
We've done Mount Trashmores of fast food we hate, and Chick-fil-A did not make the list.
Yeah,
let's
did.
not stop sucking up to famous.
It did for me. The fries are awful.
Oh no, but that was item. That was item.
Oh, that's true.
Mac and cheese is number one though.
Yeah, best fast food like mac and cheese.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
I know. I showed her the video. She hasn't let me live it down. So, all right. So we've gotten 2 each. You're up.
We've got famous people in the chat. Look at Buckets is making it. Okay, that's 2 each. So Matt, are you gonna pick a third with Durant Scott, or are you gonna change it up?
I was thinking about it.
Just do it.
I don't know what, I only wrote down the NC State where Durant had 32. And then I remember the Duke.
It was the same game. It was the same game I was talking about then, or
no? That was a different game. I think that was because I think we
played.
I think the one you referenced when we played him first, and then the second time we played him was when Durant had.
Oh,
like
was
32.
That? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I would just say winning the ACC tournament. I mean,
I have a more specific moment out of that game, but that works.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember Julian talking about it because it was such a big deal for him being from like North Carolina playing against, those schools. So, but yeah. Go ahead, or Vish or Melissa?
No, Melissa is up next.
Hold on. Jasmine just followed me on Twitter, and I don't know which account it is.
Wait, what do you mean don't know which?
She followed me on my Twitter. What's up?
Well, she followed me as well because our names are on the screen.
Yeah, I know. I don't have a women's basketball player following me yet, so that's
Oh, I almost hit unfollow because I was already following her.
Oh damn, dude! I wasn't even following her. My bad.
Jasmine, forgive Matt. We're still getting him into the women's basketball.
He lives in California. They're weird.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
She's a Florida person. She's from Jacksonville.
We got to get Jasmine on the show. We have her future teammate. We had her future teammate Leah Harmon on. We got to get Jasmine on.
Yeah.
I can add her to the Chick-fil-A tally.
I mean, you might have to add me after the way this last week is gone. But
I have to do my third.
Yeah, your third's up.
I gotta do the Shane Larkin to Kenny Kaji off the backboard.
I thought you already did that.
That was for our favorite Shane Larkin moment, but this is
overall. Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. You're in a repeat. Okay.
Yeah. Your turn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a specific moment out of the ACC tournament championship game, and if you recall, and this is really down the weeds, but going into that tournament, UNC started playing small ball, and actually it's kind of how a lot of teams play now, but just shooting a bunch of threes, and it worked because they were not a good team that year, but they made all the way to the finals, and that's basically a road game then.
They just had a bunch of guards.
Yeah, and some of them, like Reggie Bullock, was on the team. Some of them are still in the league.
PJ Harrison.
Yeah, so
and they had freaking Michael McAdoo. I fucking hated that guy.
Don't even remember that guy.
You don't remember James Michael McAdoo?
Wow, I haven't heard that name in forever.
He was one of the. I hated that guy.
Wait.
Oh, we're definitely having Gio.
Yeah, no, she did. She did relay that information. Yes.
I don't withhold. I'm honest. I have a significant lead, so it's okay.
I had the video of Jasmine saying she likes Chick-fil-A, and I did share it with my co-hosts.
But then yeah.
I'm an honest broker.
Jasmine also wears number 4, so that's my home.
That is your number. Well, so they had North Carolina like just basically was essentially playing the way a lot of teams play now, which is play smaller and shoot a bunch of threes because it's actually more efficient. And they got in a rhythm. And that first half of that game, they were just dropping bombs on us. Like and it was yeah, and I was like, are we gonna? And it's a road game, and like the crowd's getting into it, and then we just. I mean, we were so much better than we just ground them down. And then in the second half, we'd taken the lead and we'd pushed it to like 7. There was like 3 minutes left or 2 minutes left, something like that. And then Trey McKinney-Jones hits a 3 from the corner, like in front of our bench. Everyone starts going. He runs down the court with his arms up like this. And that's when I'm like, holy shit, we're actually going to win this thing. So I always remember that 3-pointer. He hit it right in front of our bench and then ran down the courts with his arms like raised up in the air because everyone knew it was game. He basically called a game and dropped a 3 on him. And that was when it sunk in. Because again, that whole season was a fever dream. We were not supposed to be good. And then we started badly and then just because I know FGCU
it didn't seem like it was going to be a good season.
It didn't
lost
seem
Florida Gulf Coast.
It didn't seem real, right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem real. Even as we kept winning, like I said, we won 14 ACC games in a row to start the ACC season. It didn't feel real. It was like, this is a fever dream or something. And even that ACC tournament where the 1 seed won all 3 games comfortably, actually, in the end. It still felt like, I was like, we're going to lose this. We're playing North Carolina wins the ACC tournament. Miami doesn't win the ACC tournament. Like this is not going to happen. So that's when it sunk in. Like, oh my God, we're actually going to win this thing. So it's always that's the shot I remember from that tournament.
Matt, what's your 4th? So Matt so far has.
I honestly only thought of 3.
Curry, Scott scoring 32 against NC State, and then UNC.
I was gonna use the Larkin one, yeah, and but then also too, Melissa. I think it was Melissa brought up the slapping of the floor against Duke. I remember that.
Which one?
Oh, the slapping on the floor.
Oh.
Just because I remember I was watching that game with my friend who was a Duke fan.
That was your first mistake?
Huh?
So that was your first mistake?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a mistake that day. It was it was a mistake by him. And oh my God, when they did that, I just remember I was standing up in the side room over there because we were both watching because I was like locked in. And when they did that, I did it myself, and I just looked at him, and he just looked so defeated. But
I've got such great pictures from that game, sitting in general admission with students rushing the floor, and like with like my iPhone 5.
Yeah, I know we've shown them on the show before.
Oh yeah, we showed them.
They're so damn grainy against modern resolution display. It's hard to see what's going on.
I mean, it was like 10 years ago already. My 4th one. So I've got the L dancing after beating Illinois, slapping the floor against Duke, the alley-oop to Kenny off the backboard. My 4th one's gonna have to be probably. And it probably seems stupid, but because I was at these games, some of the stuff means more because I got to see it in person. But watching us cut the nets down after we clinched the regular season title and being in the arena for that, and getting the shirt that said regular season champions and everyone cheering, and like that was just a really cool experience. And like that whole season was a dream to be a season ticket holder, to be sitting in the stands with Nate and all the guys that I had season tickets with for a few years already, and going through that season and watching us beat Duke by 30 at home when they were number 1 and making that run in the tournament. Like it was awesome. So I got to go with watching us cut down the nets to win the ACC regular season.
So I could definitely reuse the Larkin one. That was definitely a memorable. Winning that again, we didn't play well in that Illinois game, and gutted it out. there's also, I mean, we beat Florida State twice, which is nice. Especially the way present things are going. But I'm gonna go with, and this is like not as remembered, I feel, as the blowout win at home, but we went. This is still before we really kind of accelerated, and everyone's like, "Oh, this team is good." But so this was, God, wait, I'm gonna look now because I don't remember where. I feel like this was early in ACC play. It was our second ACC game. We went to North Carolina, and again, this is before we really knew we were good. In fact, we were 1-0 in ACC play and had 2 games before lost to Indiana State. But we go into North Carolina, we're down at the half, and this is, keep in mind, Reggie Johnson was injured at this point. And so we basically played 6 guys. And in the second half, it was like a flip switch. We beat the crap out of them. And we ended up winning by 9. And it was nothing like when we beat them by like 40 or whatever the hell it was at home. But I was like, that's what just happened? That's a legitimately good win.
Yep.
You just went to North Carolina and won. Like, we don't win in North Carolina a lot. Remember, Elma's still relatively new as well. Like, now we frankly expect to go win those games because he's done it so regularly. But
That was his second year as our head coach?
I want to say it was his third.
No, I think it was his second. I think it was his second year.
I think it was, no, because we went. Was it a second? This is 2013. When did he come in? But anyway, it was certainly not like it is now, where if we go win in North Carolina, you're like, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, his first season was the 2011-2012 season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, it was something that like we didn't do back then, and you didn't expect it to happen. And we were down at the half, and we had no players. We were on a 6-man rotation, and we just shut them down defensively and beat the crap out of him. And I remember thinking, it's been a long time since I've seen us play good, like really since Leonard Hamilton is the coach, that I've seen us actually like just play really good basketball in a tough place and beat someone.
It was a fun,
and it was the beginning. It was the beginning of like, that was the beginning of the journey to wait. We're actually really good. What is this?
I was gonna go grab the T-shirts from that season out of my cabinet over here, but I'd have to search through all the merch. So
Shout out to Canes today.
What's up, Canes today?
It's a little late, man. You have school tomorrow, right? But yeah, no, because that one's, again, I didn't want to like, we ended up, I'm looking now because I pulled this go to see where it was. We ended up beating North Carolina at home by 26. But that road win's the one that actually stuck with me more, just because I was like, I didn't think we were good. And I thought there was no way we were going to win this game, and we were down at the half, and I'm like, yeah, another NIT maybe season, and then just like the second half was the beginning of. I mean, after that, it was we beat Maryland, then at BC, then crushed Duke, and next thing you know, we're
that season. That season was just crazy, man. What could have been had Shane Larkin not gotten food poisoning?
I still think we peaked earlier than that.
In my opinion, I still think that was our best team that we've ever had. I know we went to the Final Four 2 seasons ago, but
it's hard to say.
I think we were overall more depth overall.
There was there though. It was a 2-man bench. It was Ryan Brown, and it was whichever Julian Gamble or Reggie Johnson didn't start.
No, we got minutes out of Tonier.
I guarantee we averaged less than Anthony Walker did last year.
I think all around we just had a more complete team.
I think it's easier to say that now because some of these guys ended up, like, if you look at the roster, you're like, oh yeah, we had Tonier and we had Eric Swoop and guys who ended up playing but didn't really play that year.
Tonier got some minutes.
He averaged 1.4 points.
He was just there to be a body.
Let me see if I can get some minutes. Let me see if I can get
some minutes. At the end of the day, the team made the.
No, it was. I mean, this was a
Oh God, Bishop Daniels. Remember that guy? Tony Jakiri averaged 6.9 minutes per game. Swope averaged 6. So I think there's better names on this roster than actually playing. We had basically we had 3 big splitting minutes, and then Ryan Brown kind of rotating through the guard positions because Duran would run point when Larkin was out, and that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Isaiah Wong is the most underrated player in school history, and I think 10 years from now we look back on that, I think that is the thing that is gonna stand. I think that's why we tend to. I know that obviously the Final Four team gets their credit, but this is a team that did also won the ACC, that was misseeded as a 5 seed, which I think hurts a little bit their reputation. Because I mean, the 2013 team should have been a 1 seed. The 2023 team probably should have been a 3 seed. If you win the ACC,
I think if we won the ACC tournament, Norchad getting injured kind of hurt that.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, I was about to get to that too. Like that does color a little bit because we probably would have won. I mean, we almost beat Duke without him.
Yeah.
I mean, and so I think, yeah, that team likely wins the ACC tournament if he doesn't get hurt, and then we're talking about something different. Although they probably get seated higher, and maybe the bracket doesn't line up. Maybe they don't make the Final Four. Right? There's so much.
They put in UConn's bracket.
Well, I mean, there's so much if this then that, right? Like we played the highest team possible in every single round to the Final Four.
Yep.
And you know what? We matched up well with all of those teams, and we could have run into a team that was an upset winner that we matched up worse with, and played a technically worse team. Like Indiana was the right 4 seed to match up with for us because we're athletic and we overwhelm them. UConn was also a 4 seed, so sometimes it's just the breaks, and I think the 2013 team unfortunately ran out of steam. Even like we had if we had played Illinois in February, we would have beat them by 20. We pulled that game out of our ass. Like we were on fumes at that point.
It was a good run.
No, it was. I don't think we were playing. I am skeptical that if healthy, and again, Reggie Johnson blew his knee out. There was some gastrointestinal issues for the team. Durant Scott hurt I think he broke his jaw. Everything went wrong that week, but we were not playing nearly as well as we were a month before that when we were killing everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know that we would have made the Final Four or won the championship.
We'll never know. I just remember being at Sports Grill and just drowning my sorrows in a plate of special grilled wings.
I was not making nearly as much money as I am now, and that Marquette game was in DC, and I did live there. And my brother was living in New York at the time, and he's like, "I'll come down, let's go." And at the last week couldn't go, and I really couldn't afford the ticket, so I watched it on TV, and we're like, "We'll go to the Elite Eight game after we win because we're definitely not going to lose to Marquette."
All right. Anything else to add before?
There's something. She almost forgot about it, Matt, but she caught herself. I don't know if you caught that.
We have to.
She was about to cue an outro instead.
No, I said anything else to add before we get out of here, and then I was like, oh, well, we have to do.
Yeah, no, I know you forgot about that. You caught yourself mid sentence.
Well, then I was just like, I looked at the time and I was like, do we want to do NBA grid? And I'm like, no, it's 11:50.
No.
Yeah,
no.
There's no
time to go.
Yeah.
There's no time for NBA grid. But there is time for one more segment.
There's time for our last segment of the evening, as always. So let's hit it.
The intro, man, it's crazy. So a little bit of background. Over the weekend I went to this place called Solvang, California. It's a Danish little town, and right outside of it they have an ostrich farm that you can go visit, right? So Monica wanted to go do that, so we went there. And man, I gotta tell you, like I heard some stories, but ostriches are fucking assholes. Oh my god, dude. So they give you this little thing you can put food on. It's almost like a dustpan, or it's like a bowl attached to like a little wooden stick. And so you hold it out and they come and get it. Dude, I held it out. This little ostrich that came over, it looked like it was a little teenage ostrich. I don't know. Came over and just started fucking headbutting it. Like not even trying to eat it, just like headbutting it, and was getting closer to my arm. And like I thought it was gonna like legit attack me. So in a panic, I just dumped the food. I threw the food and it hit him all in the face. But long story short, ostriches are mean. Hopefully I don't get called out for some animal abuse because I threw food at an ostrich, but it was a dick, so it deserved it. And yeah, don't go feed ostriches because they're assholes and they don't deserve to be fed. So hit it, Melissa.
Cue the socks outro.
Don't cry.
We get buckets.
Keep it chill.
Yeah, baby.
Wear good socks.
Buckets.